So just FYI, if you want to make like a little extrudy bit on a cylinder or whatever, you can just inset, and then you can do a little extrudy bit. And depending on the setting up here, it changes how it extrudes by. You probably never want this one. But you can either extrude all the way around, or you can extrude individually each one. And it just depends on which shape you want to do. Because sometimes you want to do like a cog. With a cog, I'll probably do a bevel. Oh god. Yeah, it's just going, it's the wrong setting. So I'm just doing, that's why I'm changing this. And making that less. And making that less. There we go. And make that local. So I can do like a little cog thing. Because the bevel will extrude and then squish the top. Right? So this is kind of like a way to get sort of a gear thing. Just FYI in future. If you want to make complex shapes and stuff, those things are useful. Cool? Looks like a little ribbed handle. Alright, so time to unwrap. So the first thing, I'm going to get rid of the plane so we can see just this. Oh, I forgot to get something for the snake. The snake's going to just be metal. What? What? Oh, so I forgot to put a texture in for the snake, but what else? So, going to my materials, if you remember, hit what letter? M for material. And then just grab the first one, and on the diffuse, hit this little, yours will be blank. Mine has a map already, but I can, gosh, you know what, just use the new one, fuck it. Bitmap, go find your texture. I don't know where it's gone. There we go. Cool. Alright. And I'll apply it to your model and show the shaded material. And it is completely screwed up.
Sorry, what did you hear again?
Same as last week. Drag it on to your model and turn on the show shaded material. Same thing. Get used to that. Coolio. So you should see, I'll just turn off my wireframe so you can see. It's terrible. It doesn't work at all correctly. It's completely not in the right place. So I need to do my unwrap to make sure they go to the right place. Cool? Alright, cool. So I'm going to do unwrap. Unwrap UVW. Same as last week. This time, do you remember last week we were selecting a bunch of polys and going quick peel? That works for flat stuff really well. Doesn't work for cylinders really well at all. It kind of just flattens the cylinder. That's not what you want. So let me just do the first cylinder. So as always, the green things are what 3ds Max wants or has done, and they're usually wrong. So we get rid of them by turning off map seams. So they're gone. And so let me just do this cylinder first. This is straight up a cylinder. I don't think it has a bottom even. Yeah, it's straight up a whole long cylinder. And if you remember from this, if I have a cylinder and I want to be flat, I straight up just need to slice it down and peel it open. That's all I need to do. Is that kind of cool? Alright, so how do I slice it? That's the question. Simples. I have this tool called point-to-point seams. And what that tool will do is from one point to another point, it will cut a seam between them. So let me show you what that means. And a point is like a vertex. So if I click on this, see this little thingy? And I drag it all the way down here and click. See the way it's made a blue line all the way down? And that's cut all the way down. I don't know if you can see it. There's a blue line all the way down. See it? Let me. Yeah, any point. I'm just cutting it. Ideally, you want to hide it wherever the seams cut. You want to hide them somewhere where the player won't see them. Sometimes you can't. Like in this case, it's a round cylinder. It's huge. The player's going to see the seam at some point. Okay, but ideally, usually you want to hide those cuts because usually those cuts are where the texture doesn't match each other. There's ways to fix that I'll show you later. Okay, but it's a bit complicated. Okay. OG? Has everyone downloaded Mudbox yet? No? Okay, for next week, download my box. We may not use it next week, but just FYI. It's for texturing and sculpting. Okay, so let me just show you this one, okay? So I've cut the seam all the way down. There's other ways to make seams. That's way number one. You literally do point to point and you just click from vertex to vertex and it cuts lines between the vertex. The other way is if you select stuff. So let me just cut this sphere. I can select all these lines. I'm using the line select tool. Select, select, select. And what I'm trying to do is like an orange. Imagine trying to get an orange peel peeled by keeping the peel all together. So you probably want to like cut it and then flatten it out. Does that kind of make sense? All right, so if I'm selecting all of these, I can do this one right next to the point to point, which is convert the selection to seams. And it's converting the edge selection to seams. So that's the other way I can do it. Oh no, I'm missing. Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. So let me just go back to the cylinder and I'll unwrap the cylinder so you can see what I'm talking about. So I've cut a seam all the way down the cylinder. So hopefully it should, like my piece of paper, be cut down and just flatten out flat. Let's see if that works. So the way to unwrap is like so. Click the polygon. This is recorded. Select any of the polygons here and you can expand polygon selection. So it'll keep going until it reaches the seams. So it's expanded so until it reaches all the way around. Okay. You can individually go and select each one, but it's just a bit more of a pain in the hole. If I just click one and go expand, it just selects until it stops. Every time it hits a blue border, it stops. In my case, there's only one blue border, so it just selects everything. Cool? Kind of makes sense? Let me just show an example. If I grab this and if I cut like just, let's say I wanted to only unwrap that little part here. If I did the polygon selection, expand to seams, it only selects that because the blue area encompasses that area. It's like a little boundary. That kind of makes sense? Any questions? There's no stupid questions here. Yeah. Okay. If you want to delete the seams, you go to edit seams here, this one, and click will add some, and alt click or alt select will remove. So alt click, and you can also just like select and alt select. So if I click on that one, expand polygon selection, I'm going to use this little one here called the pelt map. Okay? Do y'all want some time to play with this for a little bit before I move on? Yeah? Okay, cool. It's just I'm aware it's 10:30, so
You know the convert edge selection seams.
yeah.
How do you click the seam?
Using the edge selection. See the way the selection mode is. Huh? Yeah, you're selecting this way. So the same thing as last week. Remember that your edit poly can't have a selection. If your edit poly has a selection, you won't be able to select stuff. What? Okay. Remember to remove markings. Copy that. Probably want to turn on edge faces so you can see your edges as well. F4 to see your F4 to see your edge faces. It's very hard to unwrap without seeing the edges. And this here is why you want to use as few polys as possible, because it means you have to deal with less freaking polys. Yeah, like Ian, like that doesn't need all those time segments at all. Sorry? Yeah, exactly. Like this is why you don't want to keep doing loads of useless segments. What? If you want to have a double-sided one like mine, you just put like grab this edge and pull it, and it should stop. So you get two. You can see like the bottom. I mean, oh my god. Okay, here you can do that, so it's only one, or you can pull it, so it's two. So you see more of it at the same time.
Yeah. And on this one, when you use this, yeah, do you have to select the face first?
Sorry, what? Yeah.
Just one? Or
Just one. And then if you click that, yeah, keep selecting until it reaches the blue border. Because you only have one blue border cut down, and it selects it.
So now I have that done, I want to do the
We haven't finished.
Oh.
Okay, can I just unwrap this cylinder? So, if I have that selected, click, expand selection, and then I'll use this pelt map. When I click on it, it automatically opens my UV editor. And start pelt, start relax. And you see the way it relaxed it, so it's basically the same shape. So this is the cylinder. You not see it? There's my cylinder. No? It's literally just it's the same exact thing as if I had a cylinder and I cut it down the middle and I unwrapped it. It's literally the same shape. What? Sorry? Did you start pelt and start relax? So I'm going to do that again. What's... Start pelt, start relax, commit. So that means you're missing. You have a problem because you either have Okay, so anyone is seeing problems, you may have a cap. Definitely. What's yours?
Both caps need to be deleted, yeah?
You can't delete it now. So this is another thing. You have to get your poly right before you go to unwrapping the W. So if you've done, like luckily we've done nothing, but let's say you're halfway through unwrapping and you went, oh shit, I fucked up on this. If you go back down and delete that thing, you may fuck up your entire unwrap. So you may lose all your work. So do it properly first time around. The reason why yours is happening is, imagine if this one, same fucking paper, it's rolled up around, but yours has a cap, and the cap's connected all the way around. A cut here, it's like a Coke can, you just cut it and you kind of like flatten it, but you can't because it's connected with the caps. That's the reason why. So what you can do is you can just draw a seam around each of the caps, just like cut them up, and then that way that piece can go flat, and then you can deal with the caps later. Does that make sense? No.
No, it makes sense.
Oh, edit poly. Yes, the selection is edit poly. And then delete the unwrapped W. You still have selection of. Yeah, and then delete the unwrapped W. Sorry, what? Wait, what? One second, one poly. So you cut one thing down, right? You unwrap the whole thing. So you expand the polygon selection. What? Did you only cut one tiny polygon now? You did. Did you draw around that polygon? What did you do? You just selected one and copied. Okay. So select one. You have a copy. So we're gonna you already so you make one cut. I only want to make one cut. What you did is you selected one polygon, and then when you peeled, you told your basically going to peel sides. Just take this polygon and just take that one. Alright, so we don't want to do that. We want to do it all.
I just put it on water first, and then it's or otherwise you can turn off water first, and then press edge to bases. It's just under it. It's not the best.
That little thing was squishing them all together. Alright, you may notice that here it's there. I don't have my texture on it. Again, same as the week before. Click up here and go find a texture, and I can see the texture. Okie dokes. What's up? It's because the. So I'm gonna move this away. Now this is something I like to do. It makes life a lot fucking easier, in my opinion. I grab everything that's in here. These are unwrapped polygons. So these are all the polygons that haven't been unwrapped yet. And I just move them off to the side. And I'll deal with them. As soon as I unwrap them, they'll come here, and then I can place them correctly. And there's two reasons why this is good. This shows me if I have any parts that are not unwrapped yet, because I can see they're off there. And it also means I don't get blocked by tons of crap while I'm trying to unwrap. Okay? So this entire thing is all the polygons of the model, and they're not unwrapped yet. So I'm just going to shove them to the side because I haven't unwrapped them yet. I've only done this one, and so now all I need to do is just like scale it and rotate it so it fits where I want it to be. Like here, would that fit in? Yeah, it fits in. Cool. And a bit bigger, and you can see back on here. That is now that texture, and it's not that great because it's a low res texture.
Where did you get that image to put the comments?
It's here. Okay. All right. So let me just do a complicated one first. I'm gonna rush through this because we only have 5-10 more minutes, and it will be recorded. So the first one is the ball here. So let me try to do the same. I cut halfway through the ball. See that? Cut from the top, cut all the way down, and then expand. I'll do that, and you will see what happens. Start pelt, start relax. It's not great. It's not really great because it's trying to flatten this thing, but it's not. It's still too ball shaped, so it can't really flatten it. So what I can do then is I can cut it a bit more. So I can do stuff like this, cut it so it goes a little bit further, you know. And I can also, I don't know if anyone's ever seen people cutting orange peels, but you can create like little cuts like that.
Oh, like pizza?
Like a pizza, so then it'll flap open and have little tips. Now let's see what happens when we do that. Same thing, start pelt, start relax. And you see it's, because I cut the little things, yeah, they flatten out a lot more, they're a lot better. Oops, I accidentally cut one here. And then now I scale it and put it where I want. Now the thing about the unwrapping is, it doesn't care what's behind it, it doesn't see the other polygons, so I can do this. If I want this to take the same areas here, that's fine. Stacking polygons on top of each other, it's fine. As we saw from the crate, because we had loads of the same face on top of each other, it's fine. It only takes a texture, it doesn't see the other polygons. So that's the circle, that's fine. And then, like, obviously, if that's a blue one, I would put it in the blue metal area, which is here. So now it should be a blue metal sphere. Let's see. Yeah, blue metal sphere. Okay. So that was a sphere. What's the other? Oh yeah, the last one that you kind of need to know. For a cylinder, you will probably cut out the top by itself, and then you'll. So like each of the. Let's do that. The top part will be cut out like literally like cutting up a Coke can if you've ever done it. You cut out the top, you cut out the bottom. So they're their own separate pieces, and you unwrap them separately. And then you just do like, oh shit, sorry. You just do one straight, exactly the same as the other cylinder. Just do one straight up. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. But that's literally the next one I was going to do. There is also a trick you can do if you want to keep them together. So I can also delete one on each side. So it's going to unwrap like a flat one with two caps stuck to the side of it. Let me show you. So I'll unwrap it. Boop. Hopefully this works. Start pelt, start relax. Commit. So it's that whole cylinder thing, and then the two caps are stuck to it. Okay? Just because they don't have a seam there, so they're stuck together. That kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, so again, this goes in the metal part. Done. And then I'll do the blade part. So the blade part, of course, that's the important one because that needs to go on top of where the textures are. So let me just do that part. So what I'll probably do is I'll unwrap. Oh, whoops, sorry. Point to point. I'll unwrap one side all the way around. I'll have to do each one individually probably. Oh no. And just be careful when you're unwrapping. Don't go too far. 3ds Max gets confused. The orange is where it thinks you want it. Oops. This is a properly difficult stuff. Okay, I think I've got all the way through. Yeah, I have. Cool. Oh no, made a mistake here. So I need to delete those and put it here. Okay, cool. Now if I go to polygon and I do that, perfect. So it's all this part. Same. Start pelt, start relax. Give it some time. It'll relax back. And that should be okay. Now, if it isn't relaxing back correctly, you can also, worst case scenario, do the quick peel and just like take a snapshot of it because it's flat enough, so it should be okay. So commit, and this part goes to it's this part, isn't it?
Yeah.
So scale it down, and it might not fit exactly, which is okay. So scale it down. Okay, so you can see some parts are not fitting exactly. Let me just see if that's working at all. Yeah, cool. You can see the pattern showing up. So these parts that don't really fit, we're going to have to go in and individually edit them. Okay, which means I need to go to vertex. You can either click here or here, the vertex and the polygon face and the edges, and I'll need to manually kind of like move them to the right spots where I want them to be. Okay, now because we've chosen a very difficult shape, this is a lot of manual work. Normally the shapes won't be this hard, hopefully, but in this case we do have a tough one. Okay, so fit this here, this here. Is that looking? Cool. So I can do this a bit more. I actually should do it a bit more. It's not perfect. That's okay, close enough. And if I go back, I should see. Oh yeah, there we go. It's on there. Cool. Perfect. And then the snake is more or less a giant cylinder because we're just making it metal. We're not actually putting snake textures on for now. So just unwrap that as a little metal piece. So I think that's all we need. Are there any questions on any other weird parts? This torus thing, I'll probably cut it in half. So I'll probably do, so if I select these two, and I can do this to loop all the way around and change it to seams. So I'll cut each half out. So let me just do one half. Start pelt, start relax, and then just put that in where I need it to be. Right, so you see the way it's much easier, like dealing with just these, and then all these other peeps are just still there. I think this is the other, no, this is the gem. And it's completely fine. They will come back here as I unwrap them. They snap to the center, and I can place them correctly right now. So I'm slowly getting rid of that stash of crappy polygons I don't care about. And then at the end, when I think I've unwrapped everything, I can look over there and go, oh, there's nothing left. I've done my job. Or if there's something there, I'm like, oh, where's that? And you can find it. Cool? Because you can select it from here as well. So if I select this, that should be, okay, so that's this part of these. Okay, so they correspond to those. That kind of makes sense? All right. Everything is on there on the YouTube videos. There's going to be 3 of them because we started a lot. But I'll upload them as the next class is going. Any other questions before we finish? So for next week, I would like you to unwrap that whole thing. Okay? Again, if there's any problems, that's completely fine. Message me in Discord. Because that way, anyone who has the same problem can see it and we can all see the solution without me needing to answer every single person individually. That's the reason we set this up. So literally, if you have a problem, something's not working, give me a screenshot ideally, put it into the asset design, and either me or one of the fourth years will answer it. Cool? GG. So have that all unwrapped for next week, and then we'll be moving on to a new thing. Yay. Now the other thing you may want to do is, you remember Sketchfab? I think I showed you already at the start. So you may want to start making a Sketchfab account. If you make it with dit.ie email, you get a free pro account. Okay, so you probably want to make your own pro account for next week. That's part of your homework. So unwrap everything and make a Sketchfab account with your DIT email so you get a pro. Because we're going to also upload it to there, and we're going to start building our portfolio of work that we can literally just show people, here's my work. Oh, holy crap, what's this? This is a 3D model, like. Yeah, and you see they use like a little, I'd say this is a little sprite, is it? Yeah, see it's a flat texture to do this theme. So we will be looking at Mudbox, which is a way of painting on your models. And this is hand painted, like, so there's a way. It's really well done.